Hello and welcome to Literacy Magic. In this video, we take a closer look at the Interactive Comprehension Readers section of Meg and Sam Reading. There are 25 interactive readers and also 25 reward readers in total. They get progressively more difficult as the user makes their way through them. It is important to note that the decoding skills learned in both our sight word games and our phonics sections are now being applied in the readers. The readers are designed to test both comprehension and decoding skills, though the major emphasis is on comprehension. Like all of our other sections, the system will test the user's comprehension skills automatically. Let's take a look at book number 1. There are two versions of each book. The first tests the user's comprehension skills, and the second is a reward for completion of that test.
Click on the correct picture that matches this text.
As you can see, there are 4 images. The user must match the correct image in relation to the text on display. The images themselves have been custom designed to suit this page. You will notice that each image is partially correct, but only one is absolutely true. Here we have a fat rat. The bat and the cat are both fat and they are in the same CVC family, however that means that is only partially true. We have 2 rats, but only one of them is actually fat. Clicking on the correct image moves us on to the next page. A big mat. Again, all of the images are close to being correct, but only one is absolutely true. This is a theme that runs through the entire system. Clicking on the big mat moves us on to a new page. A hat and a cat. Let's see what happens when we get an answer incorrect. 3 things have occurred. Number 1, we lose a life. Number 2, the image position has now moved. And number 3, our text is now live to encourage the user to examine it more closely.
And
you will notice that the regular phonics words will not be highlighted. Only high-frequency vocabulary is available as a hotspot, as in reality, at this stage, the user will have proven themselves extremely good at building words from their phonetic foundation. In the books, we wish to encourage this. The game continues in this fashion until we score 100% for the entire reader. Let's take a look at the reward book. The reward book is simply the correct version of the Interactive Comprehension Reader. Here we are simply encouraging reading for pleasure on the part of the user. Like the comprehension readers, you can increase the text size, as well as accessing the hotspot mechanic. Let's skip ahead to book 25, our final reader. You will notice that along the way, there are more sight word reading games in between the comprehension reading sections. In practice, we found that it made more sense to mix these 2 areas together. The user gets to apply their new sight words in a real reading scenario. Every sight word is covered in the sight word games, but most importantly, every sight word will also be used on at least one of our readers.
click on the correct picture that matches this text.
Here we can see that the format is the same, but the material has become far more complex. Meg drives her new go-kart down to the local library. Now that Meg has her glasses, her reading is much better. And here we see a picture of Meg driving to the library, driving to a toy shop, and driving to the beach. There's also a frame where Meg is in the car, but she's not the one driving her go-kart. Let's select the correct answer, Meg driving to the library in her go-kart. This brings us to page 2, and a good example of the pause mechanic. As the text becomes more complex, so too must the images in order to reflect this. At times, this caused a lot of action to be played on screen. While this is desirable from a literacy and an entertainment point of view, it was also a little bit much to take in for a user. For this reason, we added the pause mechanic. Here the user can pause all of the images and cycle through them at their own pace. Let's give it a go and look at the first frame. Pausing, we see that only 2 of these frames take place outside of the library, meaning only 2 of these options are currently correct, the bottom 2. Moving on to the next frame, we note that of the 2 remaining correct images, in only one of them does Sam have a large book. This is what the text describes. You may have caught this in the first frame. However, it is always important to highlight these important points in a little bit more detail. Also, please note that as always, you can also turn on the help mechanic manually in order to access important sight words.
The, has, his, of.
This has been an in-depth look at the reader section of Meg and Sam Reading. For a closer look at some of our other sections, please click on some of our other videos at www.literacymagic.com.